Okay, so what we're looking at here is the pretty much Yelp of South Korea. It's a website that allows you to uh, look at restaurants and see their ratings. So I'm currently looking at the English version. This company is actually based out of Maru 180, which is a startup incubator here in Seoul. And this is the home to more than several dozen companies, some working with accelerators, others that are completely independent who use the space and pay a fee. I'm currently working out of this space, and in my first day at Maru, I met June, who is one of the founders of MongoPlate and also runs the startup grind in South Korea. So it's actually been a really great experience being here so far. I've managed to meet with Hiyun, who is one of the managers at Maru, and we've talked about several ideas around spurring more innovation and collaboration around entrepreneurship and app development. Obviously, we just launched with my Airbnb roommates from last week when I first came to Seoul. We launched this website called appole.code, literally in an apartment, and it was a site that essentially just allows you to submit an app idea. So you just literally push the idea up, and we're interested to get a lot of ideas and just build stuff. And that's kind of our goal right now as we work within the startup community of Seoul. Now, obviously, I'm an American, and South Korea is very, very friendly to foreigners as far as developing new startups. And so we're just really excited to get involved with the scene. But back to MongoPlate, that's just kind of like how this whole thing happened. So June, who runs Startup Grind, we were talking about building new things, working on new projects, and I met with Danny, who's on the development team, and a few others from the team, and we were taking a look at this website. So this is going to be the first challenge here, and I just wanted to document it so we could, track the progress of it. But the problem with this website, the new website for MongoPlate. Now, the website, if you try to Google MongoPlate right now, it'll look like this. So let me give you a look. This is MongoPlate as of now. It's not very attractive, okay, right? And it's absolutely not responsive. But there's a new design in town, and the design in town is this one, which is currently in development. And it actually looks a little different on mobile, and we can switch it to English very easily. But yeah, it's a review site for food and for restaurants. Now, one thing that you notice is that if I select English, it doesn't stay English. So that's one thing that we're going to have to resolve. The next thing is when I resize the page, this menu needs to be adjusted and fixed. So we're going to need to fix that. So let's talk about ways in which we can go about resolving this. Now, one of the quickest, easiest ways is to use app media queries. And what app media queries will allow us to do is actually check the width of the screen, and based on the width of the screen, set new CSS rules for how these elements are displayed. So what we're going to do is, if you get to a certain size, we're actually going to hide this div that these elements are inside of, and we're going to show another set of divs that will actually have a drop-down menu which displays similar content. So that's how we're going to fix the header really quickly. Then what we're going to do is we have this search bar that's actually fixed to one area, or at least is absolute positioned, it seems, right? Or has a margin from the left of a certain degree. So what we're going to need to do is either change this to a percentage margin for the left, or if it's absolute position, we'll need to adjust it so that basically it will always be seen on the page, maybe giving it a margin potentially from the right. It doesn't seem to have to be centered, but we definitely want to make sure it is centered. And then down here, these elements seem to be fine, but if I make it much smaller, we get a little bit of responsiveness, but I still can't scroll which is a problem because it seems as though this element over here goes down, and so the big fix here is actually going to be changing the size of the font and keeping these elements and making these elements a percentage instead of a set size. So we're going to do that, and that's pretty much going to fix the home page for us. And the other pages aren't so bad. Like I said, it needs to remember what language we select when we select them, and we might want to add the menu back over here. So this page is missing a menu, and we can actually just put the menu here just by default. And then this page is actually quite responsive, so they did a really good job with this, or at least I thought they did. Okay, so only to a certain size. So I can go to here, but when I go even smaller, we have an issue. So it's going to be setting potentially when it gets to a certain size, as opposed to right now these are display inline block potentially, or excuse me, inline block, which makes elements appear next to each other. So when we get to a certain size of about here, we can set it to just block, meaning that we'll see this element and then below it we'll see the next element. So those are the first things we're going to work on, and we're looking forward to tracking the progress, and we'll report another video or put up a blog post on the site to talk about that.